Like, if I put you on the spot and said...
No, I mean, I watched the clips, and I was like, even after watching the clips, I was unimpressed with Del Zotto, the hits king and his big hits. I think I asked this question sometime during the podcast, and I think you mentioned one or two that he had. Do you?
I was at a loss this morning.
Oh,
I looked
really?
at it. The video kind of cracked me up because there was a Thomas Vanek hit in it. First
Right.
of all, which, like, come on. Like, if you're selling a greatest hits of your hits, Tommy V isn't the guy. And
Right.
even at that, it was kind of on a back check. He cut a guy off, and he hit him. But the one hit that stands out of all others came in the first 2 weeks of the season in Detroit for Tannen on Cronwall. Like, that should have just been on a continual loop. Like,
Yeah,
if
they
you're
should have
setting
had...
out that was...
I think there's a bad angle shot of that one. Like, I would have had that one. I would have started with that one angle. In the middle of the hit parade, I would have had it again. And then the finish would be like some big overhead angle where you can fully see the
himself up.
Yeah, right.
The
Like
ice.
all broken. I mean, it was, and that still was Virtanen's best game of the season. He played incredible that game. Incredible. And he was better late in the season, more consistent anyway, but he never quite reached that, 6-7 shots, goal, huge hit on Cronwall. Never quite matched that again. And that's the kind of player that you hope to get from him. But no, like, all of the Del Zotto hits ring hollow, of course. Like, come on. He never had the puck. It was frustrating. He was the worst in the league in terms of scoring chance ratio. Like, the team, they just got pinned every time he was on the ice. And, like, I was wondering recently, what was the pitch when they signed him? And Jim said he was going to help on the power play and he was going to add speed to the defense. And, dude, like, he really didn't add that much speed. Like, he is a good skater, but so was Bartkowski. And Bartkowski made the defense worse, and Del Zotto made the defense worse this year. Like, I actually was thinking, I think I'd rather have Spiza than this guy, because in and around the net, I'm telling you, I don't think that there was anyone who had a worse season just in the area, like a 20-foot radius around with all his, sticking the stick in, not taking the, like, why wasn't he taking, if he's so tough and he gets all these hits, why the hell isn't he taking the body, in front of the net, pushing guys off? Like, this is the tough guy that's held up as like the hits king. Get in front of the net and push, like, stop with the stick reaching in. Use that strength. Like, he's the workout guy and he represents the team and no one works harder and he lifts this and benches that. Well, fuck, use it in the crease, man. Why don't we ever see that? We never saw it.
No, I think that's a great point. And at this stage of his career, you're not probably going to be able to overhaul him as a player. Like, he is what he is at this stage. And so it is funny that this guy that is, rambunctious along the boards,
right,
just gives
in front of the net. He's not.
Space
Where's that guy?
Like, just every other night in the Provies, you had like the screen grabs of the full extension of the arm, and still not anywhere close to the guy that he was supposed to be. Like, laying out with the full reach, and still 3 or 4 feet away from the guy with the puck. Like, it just made
maddening.
no sense. So, we're in for another season of that, though.
Right, and I would assume we are, yeah. Like, and that's one of the problems that I've pointed out for their defense. If he's playing 20-plus minutes a game and Goodbranson's playing 20-plus minutes a game or close to it, that's not going to be a good defense. It's just not. It's very difficult to have it's going to be really difficult for them to have a good defense with those two guys playing those kind of minutes, and with Sutter not producing offense and getting scorched in terms of possession. So something's got to give in the equation, right? Because you want to say speed and skill, right? Well, there's no speed and skill in Goodbranson's game. And in fact, from watching a lot of the playoffs here, like, are there any Goodbranson types that are having, like, he's supposed to be the big playoff guy. Are there any Goodbranson types out there that are standing out and having good playoffs?
Well, the two guys that jump to mind for me play on the same team on Vegas, which, again, this makes no sense to me, that Vegas has the success that they're having with Braden McNabb and Derek England. Like,
England
at the outset of the playoffs, if you had told me one of those guys would be a regular, all right, you can probably work around that. But they're playing 20-plus minutes,
right,
and that's not games that go into overtime. Like, I'm just talking regular shifts. Like, And McNabb obviously scores the only goal of the game the other night. He's not there to score goals, but he's jumping up into the rush, and he looked like a finisher on that one play.
Right.
And that's why I thought, come playoff time, when it's all about matchups, I kind of thought that those two guys might get exploited. Like, I look at that Vegas defense, and I just don't see a defense that can get you through 3 or 4 rounds of the playoffs, and yet they sweep LA, and here they are, feet up now, enjoying the good
Colin
life.
Miller's really good. He's really, really good. And the one thing that Vegas has is they got 4 lines that can skate. Like, all of their 4 lines are fast, and they pressure, and that takes a lot of heat off of their defense. But you're right. Like, in Egelin, though, to me, he's played better than Goodbranson. Like, he's really learned to move the puck. He's a far better player than he's been before. I'm not sure that what I see in his game I expect to see in Goodbranson's. But Pollock for the Leafs, to me, is the best Goodbranson example, and he just gets trashed. So I don't know. Like, that is probably the way you paint Vegas. That's probably the best spot, I think, for Goodbranson to shine. If he's on a third pairing on a team that can skate, I think he'd have a chance at being just fine. Like, if you put him on that third pairing with one of those guys, I think they'd be okay, because they have other places that they make up for it. Unfortunately, the Canucks don't have enough speed up and down their lineup, right? Like, Bo Horvat looks often, like before Virtanen, other than Virtanen, often looks like among their fastest skaters, and he's way improved, and it's so impressive in what he's been able to do since arriving in the NHL in terms of his speed. But he's not one of the fastest guys in the league. No. Like, it's like, if that's one of your fastest players, and if he stands out like that, like, you're not fast enough. And there are teams in the NHL that believe the Canucks are the slowest team, and we're the slowest team in the this past season. And with the Sneens, they probably were.